Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Cholesterol is one of the most important defense mechanisms we have in the body. In 1968, the perfect cholesterol level was 222. Today, the perfect cholesterol is 222. It has not moved. As you get down to about 120, you can pretty well be assured that 100% of that population has cancer growing someplace. It may be small, it may be large, but it is growing. But as far as being the best protector against heart disease, against stroke, against cancer, you're not going to get over cancer unless you get the cholesterol levels above 200. 180 is kind of the break even, if you would. But if we have a patient who stays around 120, 130, 140, I know they are not going to recover very rapidly.
I think it was since the 70s there has been an overwhelming fear of cholesterol. Gotta watch out for that cholesterol number. Can't have it over, what is it, like 190 or something like that is what they tell you when you go to the doctor's office. But apparently having a moderately high cholesterol is not bad for your health. Not as bad as they want you to believe anyway.
Yeah. I've never recovered from finding out that the food pyramid was a scam.
Yeah.
That's just the degree to which that's a scam is, I don't know. Is there a worse medical crime in history than that?
No, I mean, telling Americans to load up on 7 to 11 servings of grains every single day.
Yeah. And to find out that that was a marketing ploy by the Department of Agriculture and that they went against the advice even of their own consultants who warned them that they would produce an epidemic of obesity and diabetes, to say nothing of depression and dementia, which is exactly what we have now.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know what you even do when you find out that that's true.
Yeah, and the unwarranted demonization of natural fat-containing foods, nutrient-dense foods like animal-source foods, which continue to be demonized.
Even by the American Diabetic. So is it Association Society? I don't remember which one is still pushing the notion that, diabetics can eat carbohydrates. Like, actually, I don't think so. I don't think that's a very good idea since they're converted to sugar.
My mom follows that food pyramid religiously. She's had type 2 diabetes for a very long time now. And every time she has her A1C checked, it's either unchanged or very slightly changed or elevated. And it's gone up 2 points in the last 3 years. And her doctor keeps telling her, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep eating the way that you're eating. Then they increase her medication and she wants to get off the medication and she wants to stop stabbing herself in the finger every single day, multiple times a day. Finally, I went to the doctor with her a week ago and I told him about my diet and he told her, that's a great idea. You should try that. So she's dug in. She's doing it. And she has a recheck in February and we'll see what happens. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by today. To my new viewers, welcome. To those of you that have been here for a while, welcome back. If you would do me a huge favor and hit that like button for me, it'll really help out my channel. And if I may direct your attention right here, we're on our way up to 500 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button for me and then come back. I'm making a new episode every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
The Kamala Harris rally in Houston, Texas was absolutely insane. You saw Beyonce and Kelly Rowland walked out. Kelly looked like Beetlejuice. And then after that, Kamala walks out, right? She gives him the hug, and everybody's so mad because they're like, what? Beyonce only spoke for 3 minutes? I thought we were going to get a free concert. Wait, what? What's going on? Wait, why is she hugging Kamala? I thought this was a concert. Oh, and then Kelly and Beyonce have a nice little moment, reminiscing. And then everybody realizes it was a bait and switch, and they walked their butts out. As soon as Kamala got on that dang stage, everybody was pissed off, rightfully so. They duped us. They duped the entire city of Houston, Texas. 30,000 pissed off people right before an election less than 2 weeks away. What is Kamala Harris thinking? It was a night to forget, I'll tell you that much. Kamala Harris should be ashamed.
Yeah, that was quite a dupe. There were many news outlets that even said Beyonce was going to perform. And a lot of people lined up, waiting outside for hours in the heat in Texas, and got inside and no performance. And right after that, a lot of people left because that's what they were there for. They were there to see Beyonce. But it also got a little unruly.
I thank you.
give her a little bit of credit. That's a tough situation to be in. She's standing up there. People are expecting to see Beyonce perform, and she does not. And then they're booing her. They went on for like another 2 minutes of booing, and thousands of people are just flooding out. And she stood there and she kept her composure. And then she went on and continued her rally. And that's a tough situation to be in. I mean, she did use that line, you want to go to the smaller rally down the street, because Trump was there. He just finished up his Joe Rogan interview, which was awesome, by the way, if I may say so myself. And she maintained and she proceeded. So I'll give her that. And the following morning, she went to church.
As a nation, we face real challenges. We carry.
Yeah, it got a little unruly there too, but we got to see a new character unlocked.
Because, church, I know we were born for a time such as this. And I have faith He is going to carry us forward, and the road ahead won't be easy. It will require perseverance and hard work. But in times of uncertainty, Scripture reminds us, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church, morning is on its way.
Now, we have seen many accents come out of Kamala Harris's mouth, and I understand that politicians, they pander a little bit to the audience that they happen to be speaking with at that time, but I find that awfully demeaning. All right, that's enough of that.
It seemed unthinkable to question whether a corporation would poison us for profit. Eggs became heart disease cholesterol bombs, and Honey Nut Cheerios got labeled heart healthy. The default human condition in the 21st century is obese by design. Specific, traceable forms of what's referred to as structural violence are created by the catastrophic quartet of big farming, big food, big pharma, and big insurance.
If you learned anything, the government is keeping you sick. If you think of their food pyramid, it's a diabetic.
Lucky Charms are healthier than a fried egg. Did you see that?
It's a diabetic pyramid. 50% of people in the United States are diabetic or pre-diabetic. You need to get rid of the simple carbs. They did a study at the Mayo Clinic, and they looked at people who had a fat-based diet. Fish, avocados, nuts and seeds, healthy oils. 42% less risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. Think about that. People had a protein-based diet. So if you think of the caveman diet, 21% less risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. But people who were on the standard American diet, bread, pasta, potatoes, rice, fruit juice, sugar, had a 400% increased risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. It's the food.
We've recently discussed that Alzheimer's here in America is called type 3 diabetes elsewhere. And it used to be called sugar diabetes, but the sugar companies are like, oh no, get rid of that name. We can't possibly be labeled on this disease, but it's what it is. As far as dementia, I recently learned that before the first symptom even appears, you've already had it for up to 2 decades. That's an incredible fact that I didn't know about. It's all about the brain, because the brain is mostly cholesterol. If you're not giving your body the cholesterol, it can't reproduce itself and it starts to do this diminishing thing. And it's an awful situation that is being perpetuated by the food company and the drug company.
Breaking news, authorities have spoken out regarding the 19-year-old that was cooked alive inside of a Walmart oven. As you may recall, authorities responded to the Walmart around 9:30 p.m. on Saturday in Nova Scotia. Officials say they received a call to respond to a, quote, sudden death. Patrons and staff were then rushed outside of the store while authorities went in to investigate. After 2 days of investigating, authorities have now officially confirmed that it was a 19-year-old employee of the store that was deceased inside of the walk-in oven. In a statement released by authorities, they said, quote, the investigation is complex and involves several partner agencies. An investigation of this nature may take a significant amount of time. It is important to note that the investigation has not yet reached a point where the cause and manner of death has been confirmed. They have also stated that the identity of the woman has not yet been released, but they did say it was a member of their community who moved to Nova Scotia about 3 years ago. This specific Walmart location has been closed since the incident took place, and they do not have any time frame as to when they will reopen.
This young woman's identity has since been released, but it's a very suspicious situation, and here's why.
All right, for those asking, this is the oven. Open it. You turn it on. It doesn't start heating until the door closes. The door will not close on its own.
The way you see it, a scenario performed by Walmart employees.
Why would this girl get trapped in an oven that should open from the inside? Can anyone explain?
As you can see, there is no shortage of videos as to how these particular ovens work. They're difficult to close and they have an emergency release from the inside, which leads me to believe that she didn't do this on her own. Something terrible happened.
Y'all need to see this. So the Joe Rogan and Trump podcast just came out a few minutes ago, and Trump said something very, very subtle. I want to see if you guys hear it. Trust me, this is big.
Who would want people to come in, pouring into our country? We don't know anything about it.
But I want to ask you this. Why do you think they're doing that?
I think because...
Do you think they're trying to votes? Do you think they just want cheap labor? Like, what's the idea?
There's a couple of theories. They hate our country, they're stupid, or they want to buy votes. It's one of those three things.
Yeah.
They want it. Now, they are trying to get people registered.
They're trying to give people amnesty, people that live here. They're trying to give them a path
They
to
want to give them citizenship, and they want to... Well, how
and
about what
if you think about the amount of money that they've given them when they've come here, the food stamps, the benefits that even our poor people aren't getting.
$200 billion, and that's a way low number. That's a way low. You know, it's interesting. New York has always been like, sort of like always looking for money. They've spent $100 billion on this stuff. I don't know where and they're not getting the money from the federal government. It's crazy.
Y'all heard that, right? He literally just said that they're not getting the money from the federal government for these people coming in. Which means, who is the money coming from? If it's not coming from the feds, and it's not coming from taxes or anything else, that means there's a party or organization where the money is coming from. I hope y'all get it. Now watch the rest of it.
And because the mayor came out and said, we can't live like this.
They investigated him.
He gets it. By the way, I called it. I said he just got himself indicted.
And there's a lot more stuff for y'all to hear in this podcast. It's on YouTube right now. Go watch it.
I didn't catch that. And that is a very interesting statement to say that the government's not giving New York this money. Is it coming from like the cartels going, here, hold these people for us? Oh my goodness. That's disgusting. And that's why the mayor's like, no, I'm not doing this. And then they're like, oh, you're in trouble. Wow. Okay. That's deep.
Alzheimer's disease is a physician-caused disease. Alzheimer's disease did not occur 40 years ago, even by another name. Now it's the number 4 killer of adults in the United States over the age of 65. Now what is Alzheimer's disease? Well, it's the going away of the myelin, the insulation material in the brain, the white matter of the brain, which makes up 75% of the brain weight. When the myelin goes away and you don't have enough raw materials to replace it, these naked nerve fibers get all tangled up. You've all heard of the nerve tangles, right, in the myelin. They short circuit and your memory doesn't work. That's what Alzheimer's is. Well, this myelin in the brain that makes up 75% of your brain weight is 100% cholesterol. So you go on a cholesterol-restricted diet, you're eating egg beaters instead of eggs, you're eating egg white omelets, you're eating margarine and canola oil instead of cream and butter and lard and eggs, and you're eating tofu instead of red meat, you're eating boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Now how they grow chickens without skin, I don't know, but they figured that one out. You're better off throwing away the chicken and eating the skin. Then if you can't get your blood cholesterol below 200, normal, remember, is 220, 270, if you can't get your blood cholesterol below 200, they give you cholesterol-lowering drugs. And then you can't remember who you are because you have Alzheimer's disease. Now, because you can't rebuild the myelin in the brain.
So apparently I was wrong earlier when I said 190. It's between 120 and 170 apparently where the doctors want you to be. That's good. And if it's not good, they're going to give you medication. Are we surprised? No. And then you're going to develop a whole host of other things. And guess what? They've got a pill for that.
Bill Gates is about to face trial in the Netherlands over shocking allegations about the COVID-19 vaccine. Did he mislead the public? This story is unbelievable. A Dutch court has just ordered Bill Gates to stand trial in the Netherlands over allegations that he misled the public about the safety of the COVID-19 vaccine. The accusations claim that Gates wasn't fully transparent in his statements about the risks and side effects of the vaccines. This raises serious questions about trust in global vaccination campaigns and the influence of public figures on the health debate. Many are surprised by the decision, while others see the trial as an important step toward greater transparency.
Over the weekend, at one of Trump's rallies, Bobby Kennedy had said that Bill Gates was indicted. That's actually the wrong term. He wasn't indicted, but he will be standing trial because of misleading information. And Bill Gates has been really big about taking these vaccines. Now, I'm not anti-vax at all, but I am pro-research. So do your research and make your own decisions based on what you feel is right.
Diddy just asked for and was denied a gag order on his case because, and I quote this from him and his team, they don't want government secrets being leaked. What does that mean?
Government secrets? This whole Diddy thing just keeps getting deeper. It's like the Epstein thing all over again, and we're gonna learn some nasty stuff.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Ray D'Agostino. I am the Vice Chairman of the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners and also the Chairman of the Lancaster County Board of Elections. As we, the Board of County Commissioners and the Board of Elections, have said throughout this entire election cycle and years prior, Lancaster County runs each election with the principles of integrity, veracity, and transparency. It is our duty as elected leaders of this county conduct elections that the voters can feel confident in. We take that role seriously and so do the hardworking staff in the elections office and our volunteers. Through training and expertise, it is their work and the work of hundreds of volunteers that allows us to conduct elections that are safe, secure, and allow every eligible voter to legally cast their ballot. It is through their diligence that our staff uncovered apparent incidents of attempted voter registration fraud here in Lancaster County. Through the staff's normal review process, as many as 2,500 completed voter registration forms are being researched for potential fraud stemming from 2 separate drop batches by individuals.
As glad as I'm sure we all are that these are being caught, it's pretty disturbing to know that it is happening. People are trying to cast multiple ballots. I hope that all of the districts are doing this due diligence to make sure that all of the votes are legal.
Do you guys think this is normal for them to bring politics into school? And if they vote for, I live in California by the way, but if you vote for Kamala Harris, then you're gonna get a pizza party. But if you vote for Donald J. Trump, apparently you are excluded.
They said that my teacher was screaming at us saying the other class was voting Trump. So they don't get to use the pickle patches, not the school supplies for the girls. They don't get to use the computers, the chargers, or the, what's it called it? The scrunchies, the deodorant, or stuff like that.
Okay, so you guys don't get to use this stuff. It's okay. And then what was it about the pizza party?
That we don't get the pizza party because only the kids that have, only our class that voted Kamal get to eat the pizza party, but some of the kids didn't vote for Kamal, they voted for Trump.
So then what's gonna happen to them?
They're not gonna be included. Only the kids that voted for Kamal.
Hello. So I had a couple questions for you. So I heard that Giselle told me that you had mentioned that the kids that are not going to attend the pizza party are the kids who voted other than Kamala.
Wait, say it again?
That you had told the class that whoever votes for Kamala will get a pizza party, but those that don't will not be included in the pizza party.
For Harris?
Yeah.
What period is your daughter in?
I am not sure.
So I believe only one period, period 5, had a majority for Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and to follow that same spirit, because the Democrats are more for feeding the hungry, free medical care, free more services, just pay high taxes, that I'll be willing to buy pizza for the class.
Okay.
What did she say?
You are willing to buy pizza for the class for those who win with Harris, right?
For those that voted for Harris?
Yeah.
Is she in period 5? If she's not in period 5, we're just doing a regular day.
Oh, okay. So
she's in period 5, it's the entire class.
Just at what period are you with this teacher? 5. So she is in period 5.
Okay. So I'm going to try for tomorrow for pizza, if not Friday.
So the other classes, because he did not vote for Harris, they're not going to get pizza?
Yeah. Well, they can. They just do what the conservatives do, which pay for yourself.
Oh, that's fine. Can I take some pizza for those other classes?
For those other classes? What do you mean?
The ones that voted for Trump.
You can.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am a little bit upset. I'm extremely upset because if this was the other way around and I were to go to people's houses and I'm like, hey, do you want a bag of food? Who did you vote for? You know, like, this is not Cuba. Like that's not okay to do. You know, like,
I don't think Cuba, they have a right to vote, though.
Exactly. So if there's a right to vote in this country, we should be able to vote for whoever we want with no prices in return.
Yeah, I agree.
What a horrible way to teach your students about politics. If you vote this way, I will give you pizza for free. If you vote the other, you have to pay for your own. And if it was reversed and it was my child, I would still be buying the rest of the class's pizza because that's not the right way to teach students about politics, where if you vote Democrat, you get rewarded. That's not right. If you vote any specific way, you should feel rewarded because that's what you believe. But to coerce them with a pizza party, that's ridiculous. And the way the teacher was defending it, oh my God, no. All right, it's the part that I've been waiting for all weekend. It's the conclusion to the aliens at the military base story. It's long. Please enjoy.
This time, the UFO flew right over the storage area. Now it's hovering right over its occupant, the humanoid. Now they don't know what to do. So the squadron commander, who was a lieutenant colonel, ordered the machine gun guy with the M60 to start shooting at that thing. Yeah. Empty everything you had. He had, I think, 350 rounds or something like that.
Belt.
Two belts. And he started shooting at it. Well, it shot back.
Whoa.
It shot something back that totally disabled the M60 machine gun.
But did it hurt anyone?
It didn't hurt anybody.
Just the machine.
Now, there was already 2 security policemen injured because of the first one spinning, and they were trying to detain it. So there's 2 that had some broken arms or something. Mm-hmm. And now, when this beam or something was shot down to disable this M60 machine gun, now they have to think of more tactics. That didn't work. So there was alert aircrafts on duty at Dow Air Force Base in Maine, Bangor, Maine.
Right.
They were F-106s.
Right.
And they had air-to-air rockets, not air-to-ground rockets. Yeah. And they also carried nuclear weapons, but they sent 2 non-nuclear alert aircrafts down there to try to shoot this thing down, because what else are they going to do? We're in the middle of a battle between our forces and whatever's in that craft. And so they did everything they could do. This thing hovered over. Now, everyone that was trying to load that humanoid onto that flatbed moved back. Okay, everybody got back because they realized that they have a technology that's in this flying saucer that's hovering above them is well more advanced than anything we have. And since the M60 machine gun is disabled, these M60 machine guns that fire a smaller round isn't going to work. So the commander ordered everyone back and actually put everybody in a bunker. And so during the time that they were isolating, waiting for reinforcements, and what they did was they recalled the security police squadron. I mean, everyone in that security police squadron that lives in those barracks were recalled to get up, get ready, get your weapons, and get out there because we got a battle going on. And so at some point, when the aircrafts got there, and it took like 30 minutes, the craft was going away.
It didn't take their...
Yeah, and when they went out to look at the flatbed, which they had already lifted the humanoid up with a forklift and put it on the flatbed, but they didn't have a chance to drive out of there. When they came out, they noticed that humanoid was gone.
So what about the nuclear warheads? One
of the nuclear warheads was missing. Now, the strange thing about this is, how did that nuclear weapon, and I can't go into it, but there's procedures in the way that those weapons are stored inside the bunker. Right. Okay. They shouldn't have been able to be moved. And there's reasons for that. But this one that they'd already tampered with and took the cone off, that nose cone off, was missing. Now, this presents a major problem within the United States military. They lost a nuclear weapon. What are they going to do with a nuclear weapon? We don't even know who took the nuclear weapon. Was it the Russians dressed up the Soviets back in that days.
Right. Yeah.
So they launched 3 more sets of aircrafts, F-106s, and of course they were flying north in New Brunswick. The Canadian forces have their own alert aircraft.
Sure.
They were the 101s, the Voodoos, and they launched their aircraft. They caught up with this thing going up towards Labrador, and they fired everything they had, the air-to-air missiles, which was, I think, Falcon missiles back in
Falcon
those days.
missiles, correct, yeah.
And they disabled this thing. But the thing made it into the Atlantic Ocean and sunk there. There wasn't any Canadian naval force or American naval force in close proximity. It took some hours for a naval force, and I think it was the Canadian Coast Guard, to get to the location where it was in the water. But it was gone. It's not there.
Right.
They would have to do some kind of recovery. But what they did find was a nuclear weapon. They jettisoned that nuclear weapon. Now, those weapons are gravity bombs with a parachute. And when we launch them, or we drop them over target out of a B-52, they are set to deploy the parachute and then detonate at an altitude of 1,100 feet. And this thing jettisoned, or they threw it out, and the parachute deployed, and it landed on the ground. And they located this nuclear weapon. Now they have a problem. Is this thing ready to detonate?
Armed?
And
Yeah, right.
now we have a major problem
Serious.
inside another country in Canada.
Now, the naval forces, I do recall, get there, and I heard they did not find the craft down there. It was not down there.
Yeah, they didn't find it. They never found the craft. They searched. Eventually, they got underwater.
Right.
They got submarines there. And
Did
so
they get any pieces of the craft that fell off during the big fight?
They did. They got something they think it's a large ball with a small protrusion on it, and they think that's some sort of an antenna. But again, the technology is not something we knew or could figure out then.
And they did not get any pieces of the beings at all.
They didn't get any pieces of beings. Nothing was left inside the weapon storage area from the confrontation they had with the extraterrestrial. And so when they found the nuclear weapon, they immediately then notified a recovery team, and the SAC has a nuclear response, a nuclear disablement team, they call them, would come in. But they found that the nuclear weapon was already rendered safe, meaning it couldn't detonate.
So what was the outcome of the event? What did they find out later on?
Well, they found out, first of all, that the weapons system, the B-28 that was jettisoned by the extraterrestrial, was virtually an inert weapon. The X unit, which is a firing unit inside, and that's not classified, inside a nuclear weapon, was gone, missing. There was some MC components or military components that we used to generate a signal to help detonate it. They were gone. They must have been stolen because they weren't in the bunker. So what they figured out was this particular species of extraterrestrials went in there to disable a nuclear weapon. Now, was that to tell us that they know all about our nuclear weapons and they know how to disable them? And we think that's exactly what they did. They jeopardized maybe some of their own to teach us a lesson to say, don't use these things.
Right.
We know how to disable them, and I think that's the message that we as a government received.
They came, they invaded us, they took one of our warheads, but they did not activate it. They did not try to hurt us until we started, initiating combat protocol.
Yeah, I guess maybe they didn't understand exactly what a weapon storage area and how it was guarded. I mean, they're extraterrestrials. And they thought maybe they could just land and go in and take one and disable it and leave it there. But they took this one probably because of the confrontation that was occurring. And they didn't expect that. But I think they learned their lesson from that 1971 incident.
I can see that, actually.
And based on this incident, there were new features and new designs created for nuclear bunkers and nuclear weapon storage. And unfortunately, all that stuff is still classified, and I'm not going to talk about it. But there have been advanced techniques used to secure nuclear weapons so no one from this world or any other worlds could get in and steal a nuclear weapon.
That's got to be one of my most favorite stories I've ever heard. That's freaking incredible. What I think is weird is how he said that they were trying to tell us something by coming in and disabling these nuclear warheads. But it didn't teach us not to use these nuclear warheads because we have made so many since then, so many more. It just taught us to fortify our bunkers better. I don't know if it was counterproductive to what this being was trying to accomplish in this situation, but I just love that story. That was a great story. On that note, I'm calling it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Please come on back in a couple days. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things. It's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.